Good Monday evening, June 30th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A driver suspected of being under the influence sent an Omak woman and a 4-year-old child to the hospital after a Saturday evening crash. Longtime Douglas County Prosecutor Gordon Edgar steps down from that office effective today, and one of his deputies will temporarily replace him for at least the first week of July. A heat advisory is in effect through tomorrow, with temperatures around 100 degrees expected on Tuesday. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. A carport, some parked RVs, and at least 2 other vehicles were destroyed Saturday in the Spring Canyon fire, which started about 5:15 p.m. near McNeil Canyon and Bigelow Springs Road. No one was hurt, but it took firefighters and air support from 10 agencies to contain the fire, which reached an estimated size of 20 acres. Level 1 evacuation advisories were given to homes along Spring Canyon Road. Douglas County Fire District 5 in Mansfield says the cause is under investigation, although the fire could have been started by mechanical work that was being conducted by nearby residents. The agency says smoke may remain visible in the area for a few days because of smoldering timber. Local philanthropist Bart Clennon passed away last Wednesday at the age of 82. Clennon was an actuary and orchardist who helped develop the cherry variety known as the Orondo Ruby while he was a partner in the Orondo Fruit Company. He's also known for his contributions to public lands access around the city. Among other land donations, Clennon and his wife Sheila worked with the city to create Kenzie's Landing Trailhead, named in honor of their daughter Mackenzie, who was killed by a drunk driver in 1997. Aside from his work in the fruit industry and property development, Clennon also served as president of the board during construction of what is now the Numerica Performing Arts Center. Former Washington Public Lands Commissioner Hillary Franz was in Wenatchee last week discussing wildfire with the state's Association of Fire Chiefs. Franz was instrumental in passing bills through the legislature that helped pay for wildland firefighting and authorized wildland air support on demand for local fire departments. Wenatchee Valley Fire Chief Brian Brett brought her to Thursday's meeting of the Wenatchee City Council, where she said both of those laws are now under threat.
I'm going to say to you, the reality is both of those bills are at risk. House Bill 1168 just this year was cut in half, from the $125 million to around $60 million with the budget deficit at the state level. They need to hear voices from the local communities that are literally on the fire line and impacted by it. The second is House Bill 1498. Every fire chief in the entire state says it is one of the best laws ever passed that's made a difference. The reality is it sunsets next year. And it really comes at no cost to the city. It is all about saving lives and saving dollars, and we need to have local governments and local fire districts truly raising their voice at the state level to protect what we know is already working. We can't afford to go backwards.
A driver suspected of being under the influence sent an Omak woman and a 4-year-old child to the hospital after a Saturday evening crash. The Washington State Patrol says 40-year-old Christopher Twiddell of Tonasket ran a stop sign on Highway 97 near Dayton Street about 5 p.m. His southbound Subaru Forester collided with an eastbound Toyota RAV4 driven by a 43-year-old woman with a child in a car seat. The T-bone crash sent Twiddell, as well as both occupants of the Toyota, to Mid-Valley Hospital with injuries. The State Patrol says the precise cause is under investigation, but that drugs or alcohol contributed to that accident. When we come back, longtime Douglas County Prosecutor Gordon Edgar steps down from that office effective today, and one of his deputies will temporarily replace him for at least the first week of July. The Chelan County Public Works Road Maintenance Department has a new leader, and a new report shows that Washington's population growth is slowing down compared to the average growth of the last decade. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Central Washington Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
The joys of sitting in traffic, burning gas, donating your paycheck to parking enforcement. Or you could join us this June for Ride Transit Month. On Link, you ride for free, anytime, anywhere. Plus, Link's electric buses run on clean local hydropower. Thanks, Columbia River. So while you're saving some cash, you're also saving the planet. So hop on board Link for Ride Transit Month. Stress-free, wallet-friendly, eco-smart.
Longtime Douglas County Prosecutor Gordon Edgar steps down from that office effective today, and one of his deputies will temporarily replace him for at least the first week of July. Jim Mitchell will serve as interim county prosecutor until July 7th, when a new full-time appointee will be named to the post. Edgar announced his departure in early May, effective at the end of this month. Mitchell has been chief civil deputy prosecutor in Edgar's office since 2019. Douglas County Commissioners plan to make a final appointment from a handful of applicants to serve out Edgar's remaining term of office, which runs through 2026. County Administrator Jordan Julio says that vote is slated to happen 1 week from today. The county would not disclose the names of applicants for the prosecutor's job. The Chelan County Public Works Road Maintenance Department has a new leader. Ed Grant, foreman of the Kashmir District and a county employee for nearly 27 years, is taking over as road maintenance superintendent. The position oversees the 5 road districts at Public Works and its 39 full-time employees. Grant grew up in Kashmir and began work as a flagger and snowplow driver and worked his way up the ranks. He follows in the footsteps of Brad Horn, who is retiring as road maintenance chief after 36 years of service.
Jefferson Robbins for NCWLIFE. A new report shows that Washington's population growth is slowing down compared to the average of the last decade, with a growth rate of only 1%. The annual estimate prepared by the Washington State Office of Financial Management shows the state's total population grew by an estimated 79,000 as of April 1st of this year, reaching roughly 8.1 million people. Aside from the COVID-19 pandemic year in 2021, this is the lowest population growth level recorded since 2013. The study cited net migration, people moving into the state minus people moving out, as the leading driver of population growth.
Coming up next, the 4th of July is Friday, and in tonight's features story, we will tell you about all the activities to take part in at Walla Walla Point Park throughout the day. Temperatures will soar to near 100 degrees tomorrow with a slight cool down by the end of the week. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the P&W for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition. Here's a good-looking pizza, guaranteed to bring some summer smiles. And right now, it's on sale, so it's good for your wallet too. This giant is loaded with toppings and can feed up to 6 people. Order at Abby's.com. Give us a call or just drop by. It's the summer of good, only at Abby's Legendary Pizza.
The pitch by Busich. The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Kamloops North Paws on Tuesday, July 8th. Coverage brought to you by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Biosports Physical Therapy, Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball is the NCWLIFE channel.
Monday is never too early to start thinking about Friday, especially when Friday is the 4th of July. The Wenatchee Valley celebrates Independence Day with its traditional fireworks show that night in Walla Walla Point Park, but the festivities actually start during the day on Friday with the car show, pickleball tournament, an outdoor movie, and live music. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE's Dan Kuntz spoke with organizer Allie Jordan about the two-day event.
I'm really excited. Yeah, I love the event. I love what it does for the community. Like you said, lots of volunteers, lots of community support. So we're just really thankful for all of that and the community support coming down and enjoying the event and keeping it going and thriving. So yeah, we love it.
Festivities aren't going to be just limited to Friday the 4th. Things are going to happen down here at Walla Walla Point Park on the 3rd as well.
Yeah, so like you said, it's going into the weekend this year. It's going to fall on a Friday, so we figured, hey, let's start building that two-day event and celebration this year. So at 4 o'clock on the 3rd, we'll kick off our entertainment stage, and we'll have the beer garden open and the food vendors. And then at 8:45, Sun Basin Theaters has and Gateway Cinema here locally has sponsored a movie in the park, and we're going to play The Sandlot.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, we thought that'd be kind of a fun one to kick off this year.
Great for the family, great kid movie.
Yeah, it's perfect. And then we'll also have pickleball that we're doing on the 3rd and the 4th. That's new. We'll have Cars and Coffee on the 4th at 9 o'clock. So lots of new fun things that we're just really trying to make sure that everyone has something to come down and enjoy.
And then what? Walk me through the rest of the day on the 4th.
So the rest of the day on the 4th, starting at noon, we'll open our entertainment stage and the beer garden, and we'll have entertainment through about 9 o'clock, and it'll be a beautiful day. Again, we're on the waterfront. There's swimming areas that families can come down and enjoy. There's volleyball nets. There's a new basketball court that the PUD put in. So just being down here, listening to the entertainment, enjoying the food, enjoying the beer garden if that's you're of age. So we'll do that through about 9 o'clock, and then the Apollo group will be singing the national anthem, and we'll actually have the orchestra from both East Wenatchee and Wenatchee High School with a little bit of the Golden Apple Band sprinkled in, playing music to the fireworks this year.
Oh, that's a new thing.
It is new, so we're really excited about that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Fireworks a little after 10. It's got to be dark enough, right?
Yep, it's got to be dark enough. So about 10:15, we'll set those off, and it'll be about a 20-minute show. And it truly is a world-class show. I mean, it is something spectacular to see, especially at the park. There's great vantage points throughout the community, but there is nothing like being at the park and watching those.
For the fireworks evening, on the evening of the 4th, the best thing to do, link shuttle.
Park behind JCPenney's, hop on the shuttle. They are very quick. After the fireworks are over, they will be sitting down here lined up, ready to take guests back to their car. For those of you that don't mind sitting in traffic, we are lucky enough to have the Town Toyota Center at our disposal. It's free parking over there. There's about 700 spaces, and then there's some minimal parking within the park, but Link Transit is definitely a great way to go.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great weekend. Nice on Saturday, kind of cool, and then warmer yesterday. And yeah, even warmer today under bright blue sky all across North Central Washington. Made for a beautiful shot outside our weather window this afternoon from our tower camera up on Wenatchee Heights. And we are just beginning the heat wave, and it's going to continue on Tuesday. We'll talk more about what we can expect later in the week and this weekend, but we do have a heat advisory that is in effect right now, and that will go until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. We expect a warmer day tomorrow than today, and we got well into the 90s today. We are looking at possibly 103 in places like the Columbia Basin, also definitely down in the Tri-Cities and parts of southeastern Washington. But that heat watch, remember, limit your time outside, drink plenty of fluid, and catch some air conditioning if you can throughout the day tomorrow, because it is going to be a hot one, and it covers almost all of our viewing area. Here we go. Let's look ahead a little bit to Friday and the 4th of July. Looks like a nice one. Mostly sunny and dry. Temperatures will fall back just a little bit. I think we'll be right around that 90-degree mark on Friday. We're also going to see a little bit of a breeze out of the west and southwest on Friday, and then just a slight chance for very isolated showers in extreme eastern Washington. So this week looks dry with temperatures remaining above normal. Today it got hot out there, unofficially 96 degrees. That's 13 degrees above where we should be at 83 for this time of year. But do y'all remember 2021? We go back even to Friday of last week. That was our record year. And today, 108 degrees in 2021. 63 this morning. 58 is where we should be for a low, and 46 our record low. That was set in 1970. No new precip. That's been our story for a while, and we are now 1 3/4 inches behind where we should be. So very dry conditions, very susceptible to the wildfires beginning now and going through the summer. Sunrise 5:08 this morning, and it sets tonight at 9:01. Getting you into those Tuesday temperatures. This will be our hottest day. 101 in Moses Lake and Ephrata, 100 in Quincy, Wenatchee, Eniat, Chelan, and up into Omak. We will be very close. If we don't see 100, we'll be at 99, 98 in Kashmir, 97 in Leavenworth. And look at that, even Lake Wenatchee tomorrow, high temperature of 95. The good thing about that at Lake Wenatchee, maybe it'll keep those mosquitoes down a little bit up that way. As we look at tonight, high pressure still in control of our weather, dragging all of that southerly warmth our way, and we are seeing that today and tonight. Look at the lows tonight, 70 degrees for us as we get you into Tuesday morning under mostly clear skies. For your Tuesday, and hello July as we begin the month of July, and it's going to feel like it's sunny and hotter. I think we'll see highs right around 100 degrees, and that goes for a big chunk of central and eastern Washington. By the time we get into the middle of the week, a little area of low pressure and kind of an inverted trough will break down our high pressure a little bit. It's also going to kick the winds up for Wednesday. We'll remain hot though, with highs in the low to mid 90s, so not quite as hot as we expect on Tuesday. And then for your Thursday, more breezy conditions, especially in the afternoon Thursday. Cooler temperatures, look at that, we're going to drop down into the upper 80s on Thursday. And by all means, if you like the cooler weather, get outside on Thursday. By the time we get into Friday, mostly sunny, maybe still a little bit breezy for our 4th of July celebrations for Friday, but we're going to warm up slightly too, with temperatures right around 90. And then as we get into our upcoming weekend, we're going to continue that slow warm up. Mostly sunny skies. Here's our ridge building back up in the Pacific. We will see warmer temperatures with highs Saturday in the low 90s. And then for Sunday, as we end our weekend, back to those sunny skies, kind of like we're seeing today and once again tomorrow. Lots of sun all around the West Coast. We'll see high temperatures in the low to mid 90s on Sunday. And looking past that, folks, the middle and end of next week, we're going to talk temperatures once again near 100 degrees. So get ready for a hot spell. Tonight, 70 degrees overnight, near 100 tomorrow at 99, 93 and breezy Wednesday. We'll dip down briefly into the 80s on Thursday, a little bit cooler, some breezy conditions, and then back to 90 for your Independence Day on Friday under mostly sunny skies. Lots of sun this weekend too, with highs in the low 90s. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtimes.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
The pitch by Busich.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Kamloops North Paws on Tuesday, July 8th. Coverage is brought to you in part by Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, Tacos Chava, Together for Youth, and Valley Tractor. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball, NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.
Happy Monday in sports. The Mariners played 3 extra inning games over the weekend. They won 2 of them, including yesterday. It took them 12 innings to get the job done, but they did. They beat the Rangers 6-4. Mitch Garver was the big guy. He drove in 4 runs. He iced the game with a 2-run homer in the 12th. Seattle played 3 straight extra inning games for the second time this season. The Mariners are 6-7, by the way, in extra inning frames, which is just behind Boston for the most games so far this year.
Games now as Young steps in, and he'll shoot one through the right side. That's a base hit. Carter around third. He'll score without a throw. Young with the RBI single, and the Rangers get that first run this afternoon.
Can run on the one in right field. They're probably not going to run on.
Lined over Seager's head. Arozarena is on his way home, and it's bobbled by Osuna. Wouldn't have mattered either way. This game is now tied. A big 90 feet picked up by Arozarena, and it's cashed in here in the 6th.
There's a bouncer. Shortstop. That one's through, base hit. A run is in. Around third base. Raleigh, the throw comes through. The tag, and they got him. That's a big out. Osuna with a one-hopper to the plate. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
A big base hit for Seattle. Interesting that they would send here.
You can smile about that. 2 gone.
Into left field for a base hit. Arozarena steaming home. The throw is way up the line. It's dropped by Heim, and the Mariners tack on another run. It's the former Ranger Mitch Garver driving in his 2nd run today, making it a 3-1 Mariners lead.
How about the job Mitch Garver's done in this game? He's caught a great game, catching Castillo.
I love that they're pitching to him. And he hits that one high in the air, deep out to left field. That's got a chance. It's gone! Vargas plays with fire, and Seager knocks it out. We've got a new ball game again.
He says, throw me another outside pitch. I'll just go Oppo Taco at 106 miles an hour.
And Seager didn't miss.
1 man left in the bullpen.
And that is?
Off the fist, Young, a little double clutch. Raley scores. Solano out at first, and it's a 4-3 Mariners lead.
Thank you, Coconut Husks. Oh, my goodness.
This ball is torched. Left field, Mitch Garver, welcome back, second deck bomb. What a take in the 12th inning. And the power the Mariners have been thirsting for, finally, at long last, comes to life.
This is the Mitch Garver show against his old team coming back to haunt him. That's when you turn around and you go, bat boy, come get it, baby. We're touching them all.
Popped him up. At long last, this game is in the books, and the Mariners serve.
The Mariners had to use 5 pitchers yesterday. They had to use 5 pitchers on Saturday. They were basically running out of arms. Manager Dan Wilson said yesterday's victory was due to the bullpen and, of course, Mitch Garver.
Where do you begin? I mean, I think in some ways this was sort of a fitting end to a road trip that has involved just about every guy on our roster. And, you know, somebody at some point having a big day, having a big play, having a big moment, and these guys delivered in big moments all the way along throughout the trip. And today was, you know, I thought the Rock giving us 6 there, being able to go back out after the 5th with, you know, 90 pitches and giving us one more inning was really big on a night or a day where we had a thin bullpen, and he went out and was just awesome, shut him down. And then the bullpen coming in after him, everybody threw the ball so well, you know, including Thorny there at the end with a couple innings. That was, you know, trying to keep a home team from scoring because we weren't able to score in the top of the inning is really difficult to do, and he executed perfectly. Got a couple big punch-outs when we needed it. And then offensively, a lot of big hits, you know, a lot of big circumstances, situations at the end of the ball game where our guys had to come through, and they did. They did, you know, again, from top to bottom. So just a great way to end this road trip and ride this momentum as we go back home. Yeah, Garv, some great at-bats, you know, and hitting the ball hard. You know, he's been swung the bat well, you know, earlier in the road trip as well. So, you know, giving Cal a spell today, you know, behind the plate, but coming up huge with some huge knocks. And, you know, that always feels good in front of the old team, but you know, really good to see that from Garv. He's a grinder. He's worked hard, and again, making the most of those opportunities and executing them. And those were some huge RBIs for this team today.
Mariners are back in Seattle tonight. It's the tail end of 17 games in 17 days. That's a lot of baseball. Kansas City is in town. Michael Wacha will pitch for the Royals. The Mariners will counter with George Kirby. First pitch on Root Sports is at 6:40. To the scoreboard we go. The Astros keep winning. They're not blowing people out, but they keep winning little bitty games like that 2-0 victory over the Cubs yesterday. So the Mariners trail the Astros by 6.5 games. The Angels are 7 games behind. They lost to the Nationals in extra innings. The Rangers are now 7.5 games behind after losing to the Mariners. And, well, the Athletics are the Athletics. The Wenatchee Apple Sox swept all 3 games from the Victoria Harbor Cats over the weekend, Friday night. In a game that we televised, they knocked them off 10-6. It was a walk-off victory on Saturday with a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 9th inning. They pulled it off 5-4. And then yesterday, they held off a late Victoria rally, but they beat them 6-5. The Sox are in Kamloops for the first of 3 games tonight. Now, if Wenatchee wins 2 of those 3 games against the Kamloops North Paws, they will win the division for the first half. They will be the WCL Northern Division first half champions. All they got to do is win 2 of 3. Bellingham won again. They beat Kamloops 4-2. It was Nanaimo over Edmonton. Port Angeles knocked off Kelowna. And look at that. Portland won again. They beat Ridgefield 16-4. Portland, the Pickles, have already won the WCL South Division first half title. And again, if the Apple Sox win 2 of 3 starting tonight, they will win the first half Northern Division title and punch a ticket to the playoffs. And those are just some of the games that people are playing.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.
you think of that?
Pretty big. I like it.
Watch for new episodes of the Northwest Outdoorsman on the NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.
The pitch by Busic.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Kamloops Northpaws on Tuesday, July 8th. Coverage brought to you by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Biosports Physical Therapy, Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball is the NCWLIFE channel.